Hey everybody, it's Helen Moses again, and I have another very special person with me today in this series I'm calling Putting the Pieces Together, and how it is that my book, Voice Unleashed, came to be. And Marcy Rader is here with me today. Marcy she factors in the book. When you read it, you'll learn a little bit about more in my working with her, but she was my coach at a very strategic time, a very critical time in my life, made a big difference. And I invited her today because, Marcy, I wanted to tell the people who are watching about that whole don't should on yourself concept. You were the first person that introduced me to that concept, and boy, was I doing that towards, through this journey. That was a big part for me, was recognizing how much I did that and how I needed to change it, and now knowing how much better my life is because I did. But I would love for you to share a little bit about why you latched onto that and why you think it's so important.
Yes, first of all, plug for your book. I loved your book so much, and not just because I was in it, because I was surprised every time. I'd be like, oh my gosh, me. It's just like, it was so cool. But I loved your book. And I am not the person who came up with the concept of shoulding on yourself. I heard about it, read about it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And I've seen different iterations of that. I don't even know if the original concept was should on yourself, but that's what I took from it. And it made sense to me because I am a former shoulder. And even more so, a shoulder of other people. So I used to should on other people too. And when we say should, what we're saying is I failed or you fail. And that never makes us feel good. And so reframing that to I will, I want, or I get to can be really powerful for people. And also should is past tense, right? It's very passive, and it's not saying what we're going to do or how we're going to be better or do better. With you were very much like many of the people that I coach. I coach high achievers and high potentials, and a lot of business people. And people who are high achievers think that they should be doing everything and everything perfectly. And also business owners, especially small business owners that are wearing a lot of different hats, they see all the things and they think they should be doing all the things at once. And yeah, and I saw you, you even say in the book, have a coach, but not more than one at a time, and because I know you were coaching with me at the same time you were coaching, I think at one point with even 2 other coaches.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there, it's just coming from all directions. So, we're all telling you different things, sometimes not even in, not that we were conflicting, but, everybody has a different opinion too on how to reach a goal. And so you were shoulding on yourself about all sorts of things from a business perspective, but then also you felt like you needed to be a perfect parent. And you were going through a lot that you talk about in your book with your daughter and your son. And the weight, it was like I would feel the weight from you and how much you felt like you needed to be doing all of those things. But none of those things was taking care of Helen.
Yeah. The shoulds gave me, they just ruled. I should be doing this. I should be a better mom. I should. And I also found that when I said I should, it also fueled my procrastination, because it's tied in with that perfectionism too. And so I would say, well, I should do this, but I don't have the right amount of time to do it perfectly, so I won't. And I would also say should, and I don't know if you found this with other clients, but I would say should because I still cared so very much about how others would judge me or would like, if they would like me. I cared so much. So a lot of the shoulds on myself was, I should do this so that they'll like me. Or I would say to them, I should do this because then they would know that I knew that I should, and that therefore they would somehow like me more. I mean, it was a convoluted mess that weighed me down. And the whole phrase of not shoulding on yourself is so, I find it funny. And like, it brings a little levity to the situation, but man, what a gift to get that ability to see how heavy the shoulding does, how heavy it is.
Yeah. And I don't like to say people pleaser, because that wasn't what you were doing, but that wanting to be liked and understood, I think too. And for people to know that I am a hard worker and I am, doing my best. And so shoulding on yourself from that perspective too, I think, I saw you come a long, long way. But one thing that I've worked on with other clients who think that they should, do everything to make people like them or understand them. And I don't know, people always say that there's something that happens when you reach milestones. And it actually did for me, like when you hit 40 or 50. I used to want everybody to like me too. But then at some point, and I think it was when I turned 40, I'm 46 now, I realized I don't like everybody. So why should I expect everybody to like me? It's not, and some people I even dislike, but I could go see a speaker and they're lukewarm to me, like maybe they're great, but I didn't but then somebody else might be like, oh my gosh, they changed my world. It was life-changing. They were incredible. There are a lot of comedians that people, gravitate to that maybe I don't, or vice versa. And so when I realized I don't like everybody, so it's okay for not everybody to like me. It was like this weight off my shoulder. It's like, it's not always personal. It's just, we just can't. So I think that, a lot of people who should are also, they're perfectionists, but also, we have this feeling like everybody should like us. Yeah,
and it rocks your world when it turns out they all don't, but it's so, what's the word? It's a relief, I guess, when you realize, oh, they're not all gonna like you, and you don't have to please them all, and you don't have to try to get them to like you, and that's just a big weight off your shoulders, I guess.
Yeah.
Marcy, there's one more should thing I wanted to mention, and that is just the effect when somebody else would say to me, you should do this, Helen. And that would be, it would really bother me if they said that to me and they weren't in a position of authority that I expected them to be, like a coach or a teacher or a parent or a doctor, those kinds of people. But they would say to me, you should do this, and I would feel like a failure. It goes back to how you started off saying it. Now, I would just feel like that, and I recognize that when I said that to other people, especially my children, that I was not helping them at all. So I've worked really hard to eliminate, for the most part, when I think about it, what is the word should appropriate? Is it necessary? And if it's not, let me rephrase it a different way, because it has made a big difference.
Mm-hmm. And I thought you did a great job in the book of saying, there are people in authority that give you direction that you need to listen to, like, wear a mask, and wear your seatbelt, or, something like that. But there's still a better way. Like, you should wear a mask does not make people feel like the ones that don't want to wear a mask. It does not make them want to wear a mask. But, wearing a mask can help protect people who are immunocompromised around you. That sounds very different than you should wear a mask.
It's a much better way to connect with whoever it is you're trying to talk to. And I think that's a large piece of what's missing today. People are not doing the work that it takes to try to connect especially where we differ. I think if we can do that more, and I hope that my book will help people do that more, we can make a lot of progress in this world.
Yeah. I think your book is going to help a lot of people, Helen. I do.
Thanks, Marcy. I hope so. I'm excited. I'm very excited. It launches tomorrow. But I have to tell you, I went on Amazon today, and I saw that it was a #1 hot release in one category today, and it's officially launching tomorrow. So, woo! Anyway, the word is out. You can already get it on Amazon, and the ebook will come out tomorrow. So, yay! Thank you, Marcy. Thank you for being a part of the book and my story, and thank you for all the work that you do for the people. You own the business called Work Well, Play More, and they can reach you at workwellplaymore.com, correct?
Yes, or marcyrader.com, either one.
Or marcyrader.com. Either way, she's a fabulous resource. I'm honored to call you friend, and I thank you for your time today to help me show a little bit about how all the pieces came together to make up the book, Voice Unleashed.
My pleasure.
All right, thanks.